Hi friends, this is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our opinions on a ton of different topics in hopes we can get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our opinions and experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals, no one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Be Real Babe podcast. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by the show today. We hope that you have a good time. And if you're a returning listener, watcher, supporter, thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts for coming back time and time again. For those that don't know me, my name is Brandy and I'm the host of the show. And today, you guys, we're on episode 150. For one second, holy shit, 150. I can't even believe we're here. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about the beauty industry and kind of going a little bit deeper about it and how that has affected us in our lives and some of the things that we've noticed since we've kind of unsubscribed to that and just kind of the dangers and the kind of lies that are spewed and the frustrations that we feel when it comes to this field. Now, just want to preface this episode that this means no hate to anybody that subscribes to it, that loves it, that's a part of it, that makes money off of it, that absolutely enjoys it. We're all for it if it's truly what you want to be doing, if it is aligned to who you are and what you want to do. Fuck yeah. But we're seeing stuff on the other side that's maybe not quite like that things maybe aren't quite aligned and people are not really informed. We see that with breast implants, Botox. We've talked about that many times on the show. And so we just wanted to bring up a little bit more about plastic surgery and the cosmetics and those type of things that we are using in our everyday lives that are kind of fucking us up big. So here's our first episode of diving a little bit deep into the beauty industry, where we take once a month, we take a topic and we just kind of jump a little bit deeper and focus in on what this truly means and what is it doing to us in our society. And are there some flags here that we maybe need to talk about, because people get right upset when we talk about this stuff. So naturally we just have to poke that fucking bear, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, before we get on to the show, we have a very special guest joining us for her first time. So excited for you guys to meet her. But before we do that, make sure if you are watching on YouTube, Rumble, or Spotify that you're subscribing, and comment for engagement for us, guys. If you're listening on Apple, you can also leave a review and follow us there for notification drops. And you can also find us on social media on Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. Even though we are usually shadow banned across all platforms, we are still there working hard to try and stay connected as best we can. We hope you guys are enjoying season 6 so far. We're almost done a whole month. I cannot fucking believe that it is October and a hop, skip, and a jump this weekend when it launches. The fall just flies right to winter and then just motherfucking drags, doesn't it? But anyways, let's get on to the show. All right, babes, it's time to get on to the show. And today in studio, we have two beautiful guests joining us. My babes Hales, hi, and my baby
Hi. If I'm distracted, it's for good
Mom.
reason. She hasn't been in the basement yet, and she's looking around like, ooh.
This is a new place.
Yeah.
For those that cannot see us and are just listening, Haley got a new puppy.
Yes.
I'll let her introduce her, but make sure you head over to a video if you can to see her, because she's so
I was going to
cute.
say, it's definitely a bonus. Her name's Lola Bean. She's just heading on to 8 weeks. And yeah, she's the sweetest little thing. I still do have the cats here. You'll see Katie's tail flick. They've grown used to her in the last day and a half or 2 days now. So thank God, because Kitty is my ride or die, and I didn't need her to be like super pissed at me, but she was definitely mad for the afternoon of the first day, and then she realized this thing is literally half to a third my size, so I think I'm okay. And she's not as feisty as Shorty was. Shorty wanted to play with them because she had no one else to play with, whereas Lola's attention's on Shorty, so she doesn't really like chase the cats or like engage. But there's been a few times where they come face to face in the hallway and Kitty just like and like turns around and walks away like, get out of here, bitch. So
get out of here,
other
bitch.
than that, they're doing pretty good.
There's gonna be
Yeah,
some.
it's all right.
I love it. It's so great, so cute. So, anyways, if we get distracted, that's where our attention's
Yes,
going
my
to.
little burrito.
But yes, guys. So a little burrito. So this episode doing more of deep dive in a sense where we looked at more articles and have some you know things to talk about besides just our opinions. Throw a little bit of that in there. But talking about the beauty industry, guys. So we talked about last episode at the end a little bit how we talk about this quite often is like we think that people are great the way they are, and of course you like dress up and do all those things, like those are things you should do, but when it becomes your identity and
Yeah.
you don't feel beautiful by yourself, I think that's where we kind of have that problem, right, where we get mad that this industry takes advantage
We've
of,
been very
I think.
conditioned to think we need everything to make us look good when truthfully, I mean, we're all born different. Everyone looks different for a reason because if we all look the same, it'd be boring. So trying to all
Super
look the same
boring.
to me is just a very I mean, we were all guilty of it when we were younger, but the more that you age, like the more I realize I don't care if I have wrinkles and laugh lines because that means I'm having a good time in life, and I don't need huge like big lips like that. Like it's just not my thing. And like, yeah, like the amount of people that are like, oh, the preventative Botox when you're young, so you don't have like, I have forehead lines. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like, I don't,
yeah.
I don't know what to do about that. But the past few years has really opened up eyes on like, I don't know. We were kind of like on the path of like, I've never needed Botox, never been interested in it. So if you
No,
are like,
neither.
do you, but just be aware of
Hey,
what you're
that's
doing.
yep.
But the last few years have just shown like how much shit they put in our it just in the beauty industry in total. Like you'd think that it would be like all
Hmm.
natural, and there are totally all natural ways, like bee venom I've heard is a good thing. Like there's a lot of like natural ways to like go in and around beauty products, but you think that's making them
Hmm.
money? No.
No. No. And it's expensive and most people can't usually afford it,
Well,
right?
and
So
also
and we're all like all guilty of it. I do the
it
same
also
thing. It's like,
ties
fuck,
into
why?
the big pharma because once you start
Yeah.
using these things regularly, you start contracting and like just
Getting
mysteriously
sick.
getting certain illnesses, which
Hmm.
I think the C word cancer is a really, really unfortunate big side effect of the beauty industry. And then you're a big
I
pharma
think so
patient
too.
for life. So they are hand in hand
Yeah.
working to destroy our insides. So we are dependent
Hmm.
on them for cures, you know? It sucks.
Yeah, yeah, and we said the last time too, our skin is our biggest organ, right? So
Right?
when you talk about like, and what I kind of want to not argue, but like challenge people to think about is if we believe, okay, if you believe that they poison the sky and you believe and or you believe they poison the
Yeah.
food and or big pharma's not there. When you talk about let's look at it this way, if you, and I'm not even saying all the time that there's like a nefarious thing that they're like, let's poison everybody. I don't even
No.
always know that I think that that's what it is. I think it's just ignorance and just pumping out stuff and making money, right? And they don't care what happens to you. So if we could just even put the conspiracy and that malicious part aside, isn't it like kind of
It's the
sad that they
profit
care
of it.
about more making money than, yeah, it's the profit of you, and then so they make you feel like shit, so you have to put all of
Hmm.
this stuff on your surfaces that is absorbing, and I know I'm saying this full of tattoos, we've talked about this, I'm aware now, but
Right?
exactly, but and I'll continue to do it, but at least I know what I'm
Informed
doing, right?
consent.
But the thing is, if informed consent, but I think back especially when I was a cigarette smoker and weed smoke, well, obviously still weed smoker, but just really tried to hide it before. And I remember spraying so much perfume and just
Yes.
lotion and doing that several times a day, and then being in the state of not being able to live without makeup, and also being a state of washing my hair and having a shower every 2 days with like not great
Product.
shampoos,
Hmm.
conditioners, and products, and you're putting perfumes on and you're doing all of this, and it's like then you go to lady products, and and then again lotion all over your bodies, and it's like
Well,
kind of wonder at the height of that for me was when I was my most mentally
well,
ill,
that's when
in my
that's
opinion.
what we're like. It just comes back to conditioning. That's what we're told we have to do. You have to
Hmm.
lotion up after the shower because you need your skin to be
Hmm.
moisturized. You need to wash your hair every few
Fresh,
days
young,
because
anti-aging.
it's just yucky if your hair is greasy. You have to wear makeup outside because if you don't, people won't find you attractive, and your self worth is completely based around what everyone else thinks. And like, it's just
Hmm.
as much as it's
So,
tied in with big pharma, it's also tied in with like the mental health crisis, in my opinion. Like, they've
hmm
created what we are now swimming in with mental health. Like, we've talked about it before with the Playboy era and like everything we grew up with. Like, we've just been totally conditioned and told that like we are not good enough as is, and we need to do whatever we can to essentially change ourselves to become this version of what people, society, magazines, Hollywood deems like good enough and pretty enough. Like,
the trend.
the one thing that I find funny is like, I had a girlfriend who, she's like, I have to shave my, she shaves her legs like every day or two. Like, she can't let hair grow. I was like,
Mm.
girl, I haven't shaved my leg in like 6 or 7 months. And sometimes in the winter, it is literally all winter. She's like, doesn't Nick ever like, I'm like, I have been with him a very long time and he has yet to say,
Like,
ew, you disgusting pig, go shave your legs. Like, guys really like don't, and
they
if they
don't care.
do say that, then
No.
like maybe you need a new one, because like the
Yeah.
fuck, like,
That's a little
it's just
bit
we are
silly.
so
Yeah.
conditioned, like you need to be prim, proper, like trimmed, fucking waxed, lotion, perfumed, made up, hair done 24/7. And yeah, you think you're swimming in all those like sexy chemicals, and then you realize how like it's not almost, it's the dependency of it, but it's also the like dependency on that feeling, because it's a high, you feel good. And I
hmm
remember that makeup was
Yes.
huge.
Yeah.
And like my one perfume, I wore it to the Dixie Chicks not too long ago, and it was just like, oh wait, no.
Oh, it feels
No,
good.
but it smells good,
Oh
but
yeah,
like
right.
no.
No, I don't like
Like,
this.
it was just,
Yeah.
it's just such a
But go away.
conflict now, because I know
Yes.
that, yeah, like honestly, I feel better and more confident and just more comfortable in my skin now, even after a baby hell,
hmm
than I ever did when I
Yes.
doused and lathered in all sorts of shit that I was told I had to, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then we talk about how it's all connected,
Hmm.
right? So it's like, okay, so you're like, and I just would like to like add to what you're saying, that everyone's being told to be a certain way. I think if you subscribe to that narrative, right?
Yes.
Like that's where it's like we're sold that this story is what it is to be a
Yes.
woman, but then once you stop subscribing to that quote unquote
You
like what the
realize, yeah,
patriarchy is or whatever people say, you realize that you don't actually
there's
have to be
literally
those things.
no wrong
And
way
there's
to be a woman unless you're
no,
trying to like medically
no.
transition. Just saying. But there's literally no wrong way.
And like even that, yes. Like even actually I was speaking of that quickly sidebar. I was listening to Blair White today and she had it was just a quick short and she was just saying how like she doesn't classify herself as a trans woman as a woman. She classifies herself as a man, like on a male spectrum, but she's the trans woman,
It's
but still in the category of men. And I was like, that to me is what I would like to see out of like that more, where it's just like, I'm not going to say you're not trans woman. You look like there's some people that have no
yeah.
idea, but when it comes down to like science and all that, it is good to be rooted in that reality, right? Where it's like, why can't both be true?
And
But
on the topic
anyways,
of
it's so
men
fun.
though, like
But it was
men's,
cool.
I feel weird saying men's beauty products because men don't want them to be called beauty products, but men's skincare, men's
No,
care
but
products have been
all
so
that.
pushed, and like there wasn't really like girl razors and guy razors were a thing, but there wasn't like a whole lot of like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like that Axe body stuff kind of was more when I was like teens. Like, it
Oh
wasn't
gosh,
like,
yes,
it kind of
teenagers.
just like started developing where they have like, yeah, like
Yeah,
every
that
like
intense body
18,000
spray.
fucking cents and whatever of like men's stuff, and that Axe body spray. They had a female one that I used to use that I love the smell of, and I was guilty of just like rah, like all over the place. I used to bring it
Right?
on vacation with me.
That's
It
what I
reminds me of
mean.
like going on vacation now.
Yeah.
But men's stuff, like, you guys aren't immune either. Like, and those things, like a lot of
No,
those are filled with like, I
tons
like
of chemicals.
estrogen in a lot of cases. Like,
hmm
I've heard beer is even got estrogen in it. Like, Brandy and I were talking about plastic man boobs, moobs.
Yeah.
Gynecomastia in men
Yep.
is one of the top like surgeries these days for men, is getting your
Yep.
moobs taken off
Yes.
because of
100%.
all the endocrine disruptors and all like the hormones added shit. And like, why do you think testosterone
Foods
is
and
just
just
like at an
plummeted
all-time low?
totally
And it's like
all time low. And
all that's
infertility,
like,
like for females
yeah,
too.
promoted is, I've seen this too and I agree, is femininity in men and masculinity in women these days. So I'm very surprised that the
Yes,
beauty
very
industry
much.
hasn't taken a harder hit, because you need to be nice, kitty, because
Well, they just
they
swapped, right? They
swapped,
just
because
swapped
now
from like trans
our products are being marketed to, yeah, like
to trans
the
women.
trans, which, like, fine, like, you want to feel like a
Oh,
woman, you
fine.
need to
Go
use
for
women
it. I don't
products,
want
I
to wear it.
totally get it, but like, I don't know, it's just the beauty industry these days has just taken such a ugly turn in,
Hmm.
like B said, like, I don't necessarily think all of it is malicious. I do believe that there is
No.
malicious intent in quite a few of them, though. Of
Yes.
they know what is going
Yes.
on, they have a hunch at least of like what their products are doing to people, because they've got studies too. That's what those corporations and companies do their own stuff. But between that and just like the marketing, like the tampon thing with Dylan Mulvaney, like, why? He doesn't even have a
Why?
vagine.
Oh,
Like, there's no point in him
no,
and
he's
carrying.
not.
If I had, I don't know. It depends, I guess, on the situation and who it is. But like, if I had some like super gay man offer me a tampon in a bar, I'm gonna be
I
like,
don't know how I feel about that.
I'm good, because I'm immediately, my
I
brain
just
goes
don't.
into like, what's in it though? Like, did you lace it with something? Are you gonna try and like date rape me later? Are you actually gay? Like, I just
That
have such a weird.
I don't think I'd accept one from anyone, to be honest with you. I'd have no
I would,
trust, so I'd
a
be like, I'll
friend of
just
mine,
go with toilet
sure,
paper, thanks.
and
Friend for
maybe
sure.
if I'm
Coworker
like
for sure.
like super drunk in a bar and some girl's like, "Oh my god, girl, I've got one," I would take it. But like, I don't know, like, I just that's not like a standard,
It
a
just
practice
seems
that I
weird.
think we need to be like normalizing, is like men. Like, I've seen
Yeah.
that too, like, oh, my boyfriend carries tampons for me. Like, Nick and I used to have our neon, and I used to have some in the glove
Mhm.
compartment. But like, I'm not gonna make Nick like purposely carry tampons for me. Like, I think that's,
No,
I'm good. Like, that's so okay.
I'm good,
But
thanks.
even
Yeah.
those, like, even
Um,
pads and tampons are
yeah.
completely contaminated. Like, there
They're
is
bad for
literally
you too.
no avenue
There's
of
no
woman
and we're
anything.
not trying so I think what it
It's not a
is, I think
fear
my
thing
biggest thing, I
either.
think you're in the same way, it's not, it's knowledge though, right? Because I think when I found out,
Yeah.
for one, how much damage it was doing to, and I'm speaking personally to myself, I'm not speaking to anybody else, I'm speaking for my personal self, is the more I use those products, the more I felt worse,
Mm.
because I wasn't, well,
You
for
can
one, it was
feel
making my
it.
acne worse, it would, yeah, and I felt like there was just this thing that I felt like people could see my insecurity, because there's just no way you can not tell when people are wearing makeup. And I'm not saying that that's everybody's thing. I'm saying that was it for
Hmm.
me. And so I was just like, oh, everyone's going to know that about me. And then it did. It just made my acne worse. And then it made me feel like I couldn't leave the
It's
house
funny how
without
that
it. And I
is,
just
hey?
think that
It
that's
seems to make
scary.
things like
Yeah.
that worse when it's supposed to be like
Yeah.
helping you feel better.
Making it
And
better.
as soon as
Yeah.
I
It just made
stopped
me feel
wearing
worse.
makeup, I noticed my skin has never been fucking happier with me. My breakouts are
Yeah.
so
Well, I still have hormones shit,
I
but
still have hormonal breakouts and stuff here and there, but like, it is
yeah.
so few and far between of just like random huge zits. And I didn't have perfect skin. I didn't have like crazy cystic
Mm.
anything either, but I definitely had like the full like T zone. Like, I had acne as a kid. I had fucking.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed too is like shampoos and conditioners that I use. Some of them always made my like back and shoulders break out a lot, and I remember
Mm.
getting made fun
Yeah.
of by a girlfriend of mine when I was like 13. It like devastated me, because like my back
Oh,
was
of
just
course.
like not happy. But I blame the
Terrible.
conditioners that I was using, because they're just so full
Mm.
of like crap that clogs your pores and just like dries your skin out in the worst way and just does nothing but good for your skin. Like, at all.
No, 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 and like that's what I mean. Like, and back to like my original point. So it's like we talk
Yeah.
about the food that we're eating, and then we talk about the things that we're putting on that we're told that we need
Yeah.
to, and then you know, all these products and all these chemicals are disrupting our body, and then that's disrupting our gut, and it's not helping our mental health, like physically, and then mentally, and then
Hmm.
spiritually. And I think this is what my beef with is it, and I don't want it to seem like I'm throwing shade to anybody that is a part of the industry or anybody that like subscribes to it. This is just my personal like my personal journey and where it is. And what makes me mad though is the amount of people and how much money this place and this industry makes off of women's
Oh yeah.
insecurities. And there is a degree of dressing up and acting for sure. Like for example, to come on tonight, super busy day at work, crazy. It's a Tuesday. I don't even know. I think it's
I
still
think so.
Tuesday. cleaning the house, making dinner, getting ready for tonight or whatever, trying to get these notes ready. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't put any, like, I just wear mascara and that's it. And I was like, whatever. I don't even think I
I have to
like
throw a shirt on. That's
literally did
usually my
anything
thing
to my
because I'm in
face
like a
today.
bra
Yeah, like
top.
I did. Yeah,
I
I
almost ran
definitely have a
downstairs
nice
without it,
like
and I'm sure
canvas,
like
but
some of our male viewers wouldn't be too opposed to like my titties hanging out. But my thing is, I gotta put
yeah,
a shirt
nobody
on
mad, nobody mad. Yes, that's fair,
and my
right?
hair
But
up
it's just
because if I
like,
don't, I look weird with it down and the headphones on. It's just not a cute look.
yeah, it's a hard look to pull off. But point being is that like if this was me 5, 6 years
Full
ago,
make.
I wouldn't have been here mentally. I would have freaked right out and been like, because you never know, and I don't think we'll ever go oh crazy viral or anything like that. That was
At
aggressive.
least it's towards each other, not the dog.
Or yeah, that's
It's
fine.
true though.
That's
I would
fine
have been
against
full
each
face
other,
makeup 3 years ago,
right?
4 years ago. I would have, and I would have had
Yeah.
to like test the lighting, make sure that it don't look like fucking
Mhm.
bad. Even the lighting when I first got it doing the podcast, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like that's washing me out horribly, or like, oh god, I look like a ghost. Like come winter, I will not look this color. I will be
No, I know, right?
white.
We're gonna change filter
Yeah,
color here. Hold on.
yeah, I've
Just
got the
kidding.
warm filter. I'll be using it because
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, right now I'm using the
that's the
cool,
biggest
but
thing
come
I
winter it'll
found
be the
is
warm.
my mental, like just the way I think about things like that has all changed, and maybe that has to do with not filling myself with so much like shit. I don't know, but
And that's what I kind of half wonder, you know what I mean? That's what I was kind of getting to. Like if and maybe it's all tied together, but it's like it almost like all those things exacerbates the
yes,
worst, the sickness, the illness. And once you stop doing that, and like I guess for me, it's like once I realized how toxic it was, I was like, like I didn't stop right
it
away,
made
but
it
I was like,
easier.
it really it made it easier. And I was like, you know what, maybe I just won't wear this. And then a girl at work was doing the same thing. She because of a like skin condition, she didn't want it on her face because it always made her break out more. So she was just completely barefaced. And I was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to do this, now's
Yeah,
the time. And I worked in the oil field, so it didn't really matter. But I was also, again, like, why can't I be a girly girl in the
for
office
sure,
at, in an oil field? Like, if I work with all
dude.
boys, why can't I look nice?
That was me.
I came from
I
offices,
I
so
came from offices. Now I work from home. Thank God. I can look like
yeah,
a
or
fucking
corporate.
homeless
Yeah.
troll all the
Pit show.
time. But
Yes.
um, I was the thing in the oil industry is you are a pair of tits at a desk. You need to look good because you're.
Mm,
I was receptionist a lot of places I started, so I was the first face you saw walking in. So they hire
yeah.
you because of how presentable you are, and
You
if
look
you're
good.
not
Yes.
typical presentable, the chances of you getting that,
Yeah.
like, I don't know how many times I heard from bosses saying like they don't hire male receptionists because no one wants to see a guy when they walk in. They want to see a pretty girl. And I'm like,
And if this is like a
ew.
welcome
Like,
energy
thanks
too, right?
for,
Like you, I would
I
see,
guess, the
I
compliment,
can
but
see
like,
that. For me,
what?
it's like,
Like, no.
yeah, no one wants to talk to men. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I think that's not entirely
So
wrong, but
I feel like
yeah.
in
So
the oil industry
I
and our
kind of
desk jobs,
wonder.
it's heightened.
Oh, for sure. And I think, but I like low key love it. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
loved about working in the offices, so that I got to dress up and do that stuff because I do like it. And, but I think the difference, like we're saying, and this is where I think people get upset with me and they get confused, is that I'm not saying you shouldn't do those things. I'm not saying you shouldn't dress up. I'm
Just
not
be
saying you shouldn't do
aware.
any of these cosmetics. Just be any of these things. If it genuinely, honest to goodness, being real makes you feel
Hmm.
good, then fucking don't. Great. And if you know the risks and you are informed of what it could be, so if you are sick and you can't figure it out, then you could try to
Hmm.
link this, maybe, I don't know, but there's so many different things these days. And I think that's what it is for me, is like, okay, what can I control? Because I can't control what happens out here, and I can't truly control right now what's in my food,
I was gonna
but
say
I can
food's a
control the
big one though.
products that I consume, right? Food is a big one, but
Products
like,
you
and like
consume
containers and
and
environment, but
products
yeah.
you,
Do I need hairspray?
yeah.
Do I need lotion every day? Do I, like, can I use
I was gonna
coconut
say
oil
coconut
instead?
oil,
Can
baby.
I
Nature's lotion.
yeah, right. And we'll shout out to like Dee and Dandle's Candles, right? Like, do you need to go get that really expensive, full of toxic candle, or could you get one of hers that are
Beeswax.
like three
Yeah.
ingredients? That's beeswax and coconut, like that's sourced and very ethical. You know what I mean? So it's like once you start realizing that that can affect your mental health in how your stomach acts, how you're physically acting, like, and also the mental capacity of it too, right? Like we said, once you break free of not worrying all the time, yes, we can dress up. Yes, I do it. Yes, sometimes we put filters on. But we're not like, oh my god, we're gonna launch this podcast, and I don't even know if I think I had leftover makeup on there for a second.
Dude, I had
Like just stressful
eyelash
day.
glue
Didn't
on
have
my
time, guys.
eyes for
Sorry,
like a
be
week and a
honest.
half after Dixie Chicks because I didn't want to do full mascara, so I put lashes on, and I'm like picking it
Yes.
off for like a week. I'm like, dude, get off my face. Like,
Get
I
away
forgot how
from me.
annoying the eyelash glue can be. It's so
Right?
frustrating.
But yeah, I just want people to maybe take that into
Hmm.
consideration, right? Like, and when I was at the peak of my mental health issues, I was not eating well, I was working out too much, I was full of like makeup, I was like what else was I say, like tanning too.
God, I love
What
tanning.
else was I say that was, yeah, me too. Like, not, but like in the beds, like I love it outside, I
Oh,
don't will
I
like
was
ever go into
huge
bed
into the
again.
beds in high school for
Oh yeah,
sure.
especially with the like Playboy bunny thing. But I just
Stickers.
when all those things were, oh, so I was gonna say I would get my hair
Yeah.
done every like 6 to 8 weeks. I got my eyelashes done. I got my nails done. I got my eyebrows waxed, and I did that a lot for a couple years. And that is when the height of my mental health was, like when it was at its peak crash. And I feel like as I've gotten rid of all those different things, like I'm no longer dyeing my hair. I think it's been almost 6 months now. The grays are going to start popping out soon. I haven't got my eyebrows waxed in a couple years. I'd say before the
You
pandemic, I
can
just
sugar
use a little
wax them
fucking,
too, which is more
yeah, or
natural.
that, yeah, or I just use a I don't know, it's like a little big
Yeah.
thing. I use a mustache and this and done. I don't need to pay someone to do that. It takes 2 seconds after the
Yeah,
shower.
I've never.
I don't get my nails done anymore. I grew them. Look at those
I
motherfuckers,
do, but this is
right?
like the first time I've gotten them done in like a year and a
Well, me
half,
too.
but I don't care.
But I'm not saying, but
I
I
know.
mean, like when I used to do all those things and when I was at the height of my mental health, and now I've embraced all of the things. Like, no, my nails aren't always perfect, but like they're pretty great. And like, I don't know, my eyelashes, I just like curl them and I'm
Another
pretty okay with
weird
that.
thing, so there's an Italian center here in Sherwood Park, and we shop there for
Mm.
groceries, and they have a lot of European brands, and we bought this shampoo for Evie and bubble bath there because I'm more comfortable using it because European standards, they ban thousands of more chemicals than the
Yes.
States and Canada. It is fucking disgusting. So even if you
Yes.
like, I don't know, like I used her shampoo before I went camping on the weekend and my hair is still like decent. It's not horribly greasy. So I might just like
Nice.
screw it and start
Give it a
buying that
try.
because I do still have one left. I made my own bar shampoo and
Yeah.
it worked perfectly fine
Yes.
and it was really fun and I still have most of the ingredients left and I might even just use Castile soap to wash my hair and see how that goes because it's just
Yeah.
whatever. But
And it's nice to slowly start doing
there's
it,
things
right?
that
Like
you
you start
can
thinking
do
about those
and there are
things.
companies that are natural, but a lot of those natural companies too, like Burt's Bees and like ones that you think are good, have also sold out and are owned by those top 10 companies because
Yeah.
that's the nature of the beast.
That's
That's the
how it is.
nature of the
Yeah.
frickin' of our,
Yeah.
how would I say,
Our setup.
our industry's setup. Like there's,
Yeah.
you've all seen that picture, those 10 corporations, and then it like butterflies out, and they own like literally, like they'll own like car oil, cookies,
Hmm.
like beauty products. Like they own like like it's like why does Coca Cola
Array of
need to
shit.
own that? Like I don't
All of these
necessarily know
things.
it's
Yeah.
Coca Cola, but you get what I'm saying. Like they own all
Yeah.
sorts of
Yeah.
random shit because that's where the money is, baby. Like
Yes,
L'Oreal,
totally. And
Pantene,
that's
the
why I
whole
get
nine.
frustrated. This is where I get frustrated too. And like, I get frustrated sort of way. I want people that someone to explain to me, and I've said this so many times in the show, but I just cannot understand why we hate the patriarchy and we hate these standards that are put on by, and it says here in this article by Psychology Today, was really interesting. One actually to show the difference between like cosmetic surgery and non-cosmetic. So like obviously cosmetic involves things like
Hmm.
liposuction, and then non-surgical would be things like Botox. And plastic surgery versus plastic surgery in contrast aims to restore the appearance and functioning for the body, like from illness or injury. But the thing is like, and I totally understand that if you're in an illness, like you got to do sometimes the things that you got to do. But I feel like people aren't fully informed when it comes to more of the cosmetic side of it. Like, like plastic surgery for the most part, I think are people that are doing it
I can hear
restoratively
Shorty upstairs whining
or
because we're all downstairs and Nick's not home yet, so she's the only one
she's
stuck
not.
upstairs. She can't go down our stairs because she's
She's
blind as hell and she fell down our 9 stairs the last time she tried, so she's scared. Sorry,
no,
I'm like, what is that?
no. So that's
I can hear her
okay.
whining.
No, that's totally fair.
Yeah, no.
It's so interesting. So it was just saying in this article that I thought was really interesting. It said that there's a new review in scientific literature from over in Australia. They wanted to understand more of this like cosmetic surgery paradox, where it's like the modern women are encouraged massively
Huge.
to look a certain way, to undergo cosmetic surgery, but then also condemned for doing so. And so it's like there's this like need. There's a but the thing is like just like everything else, they give out they have this problem, and then all of a sudden they have this solution, and then there's
I
shame.
saw
You
this
know what I
Kevin
mean? So it's
Hart
like
stand up
it's
that
kind of
made so
nuts.
much sense. It was so funny. Do you remember when cosmetic surgery was like a secret? You didn't want fucking no one to know. Like
Yes,
you would threaten your doctor, don't fucking
yes,
tell them nothing. And it was only boobs and noses. That was the main
yeah,
thing. That's all we got.
that
And
was
it
the
was
main
women
thing.
too, right?
Yeah,
But now
yeah,
there's like the BBLs, there's fucking full forehead, fucking hairline reduction, facelifts, this,
yeah,
that, the other, all sorts of nip tucks. Like I remember when, yeah, plastic
everything.
surgery was it wasn't something to be ashamed of, but it was definitely something you did not
No,
want people knowing. But now it's
no,
like, oh
not something
girl,
that
I've
you want to
gotten all this
advertise.
done, and you go and tell everyone. Like hell, I saw
It's
that
like a
that
status thing
weird. Did you see that
almost.
thing I sent you guys? The article. This new trend called Barbie talks, where you can get
Oh, I just
Botox
missed it.
injected into your delts and it like dissolves them. There's a medical or there's like a something, it's to help with something. I don't remember what it is. I'll have to find it and post it on the podcast page. But and so it's to give the Barbie look of, instead of having like your delts up here like this, they go down and create like that, like very sleek, instead of having like delts, it's just neck and fucking shoulder. And it's like,
And here's this
why?
bitch lived in for the last 12 years trying to build pumpkins on top of
It
my
just
shoulders, but all right.
it's just it's
What?
crazy like what we think we need to do. And like I said, like we all need to, like the
At
standard
what
that we're
cost?
trying to like reach. And the Botox is one thing, which by the way, Botox botulism, hello, like it's a yuck.
Yes,
But the
absolutely.
cosmetic surgeries are, to me, like wild what some people are doing.
Yeah.
Wild.
And I found it interesting too because I never thought about this because plastic surgeries, like you said, has been around a long time, and a lot of it in the past was for like war,
Corrective, or yeah.
like yeah, for war veterans and people that got injured in the war, because you know if say they got blown up or something, they lost something, like they tried to reconstructive
Yeah.
surgery so that they
Or
could go back in society and
accidents.
get other jobs or accidents, and like totally understand, like I said, those things, and I understand people needing their
Yeah.
cosmetic surgery. I obviously struggle with it because I want you to love yourself and I don't want you to feel like you have to put yourself at risk or you feel like you have to change yourself to love yourself, you know, and that's
There
where I come from. It's not a judgment thing.
no.
It's a more like I just wish like and maybe you do and you still do and I don't know. I'm sorry. If I got it, it's because I'd be insecure. So could be
Just want you
completely
to love
misunderstanding,
yourself
but
and know that you
I
don't
don't want you to
need
feel like
it.
you have
Yeah.
to exactly, and I just want to be that counter because there is cosmetic surgery all over the place where there was just one where it said before like no one really talked about it, but like labia hypertrophy, and then you have to get
What?
like that's considered a problem. Yeah, so you get your importantly, cosmetic surgery companies both promote existing beauty ideals and shape those beauty ideals as well. The author gives an example of cosmetic surgery for female genitalia.
What?
Cosmetic surgery companies created the term labia hypertrophy to describe when the labia minora extends beyond the majora and are larger than normal. Despite the fact that over half of all women have vulvas that are naturally formed in this way, cosmetic surgery advertisements framed labia hypertrophy as a problem with an easy fix. The increasing popularity of labiaplasty can be attributed to beauty ideals that idolize only one type of vulva and the cosmetic surgery advertisement that frame vulvas as abnormal and need a fixing. And this is what I
Girl, you're
mean.
gonna get some
This is where
weird
I
screenshots from
struggle.
my face that I just made listening to that. Are you kidding me?
I'm not joking you.
It's like
I'm
vajazzling
not
cosmetic
shitting you.
surgery to make your
Vajet.
vagine look like
Yeah.
fuck off. They're not cute to
That's what I
begin
mean.
with.
And
I'm sorry, but like,
I
what?
just it and this is where I'm saying like this is where I
Jesus
struggle because
Christ.
it's like I understand women needing to feel and doing these things, but can we also
Could you
admit
imagine
that
the
there is a big thing
healing?
at play? No, I don't even want to talk about it, but I wanted to show how insane it is because most women will know this. Like everyone has different, like it's just all different. And to sit there and say that you should cut up your lady bits because, like, I would, like you said, like to find a man that's going to have a problem with that.
So
Like,
this, to
not
me,
to be
that
that
that is
way,
like,
but
you might as well
that's
just do the
so
full like
shallow.
gender reassignment and get a penis put in. Like, what are you cutting your
Yeah,
bits up because they don't look aesthetically
I don't know.
pleasing to you unless they're hanging down to your knees? What the fuck is the point of that? I don't understand
100%.
why we're now
100%.
self-conscious because our lips don't look the way we want them to. Never mind these ones on our face, the ones that
100%.
literally no one but like your husband or very few people and sexual partners see, and yourself in the mirror. Like, that's not even something that
Yes.
is exposed often enough to like give a shit about.
No. And again, maybe there's medical
Like we were
things,
saying,
like I
like
don't know, like maybe
cleft
like
palates,
I get
ear
it, but
pinnings,
yeah,
like any
yeah,
kind of
it's very
reconstructive. Like,
true.
I just remember when it was, honestly, cleft palate was a big one, and then people getting their ears pinned because they
Mhm.
stuck out too much was the only like vanity kind of cosmetic surgery that I remember when we were younger,
Mhm.
other than nose jobs,
Yeah,
boobs.
yeah.
Fuck,
Oh,
that was
boobs for
about
sure.
liposuction, I guess. But like that was
Yeah,
it. And that
yeah,
was reconstructive a lot of time at like mommy makeovers, which I still like.
yeah.
I get it. Don't get me
But I
wrong. I
struggle with
do
it
get it.
too. Like,
But like, why are we so like, you have to get back to what you look like, and like you have to be like attract, like, bitch, I pushed out and grew a whole ass fucking person. Like, I don't need to do shit. Like, leave me the
I
fuck
don't give a
alone.
shit
Like,
about
we
fuck.
moms
Yes.
are like pressured hard in the beauty industry. Like, you got to be
Mhm.
snap back, this and that. Never mind like everyday people who are just struggling because they're told, yeah, you ain't good enough. You don't look like this. Your hair's this color,
Mhm.
so you got to go color it. Like, it's just crazy that I can't believe like our lips
And
are
I
too
really hate,
saggy now. Fuck.
like I know, I
I
know. I'm
just
like, okay, so you're
can't.
cutting them. You're so hold on, let me get
Seriously,
this
this the
straight. So for the
healing process
downstairs,
sounds like a nightmare. Like, I would rather like chop toes off and have to heal that way than deal anything between my legs. Like, ew.
but can someone explain to me? So what's the rule? So if we're lips below the hips, we cut them off. If it's
Above
lips
the
above the
hips, you
hips,
pump
we
them
blow
up.
them up. Is
God,
that the
the
rule?
next
Is
trend is
that the
going to be like,
standard
yeah, Botox and like injections, lip injections,
in your
below
in
lip
your
inject.
vagina?
Yeah,
Because
like
the big lips, yeah,
these like,
below hip lip.
I can't. I
And then we're gonna suck
just,
them out of here, cut these off. And I'm not trying to be a
that's,
bitch. Like I
or like
understand. Like I
being
I
like
don't
making
have a very big lip, so I get
light of
it. But
things like
it's
that, but
just
like that's fucked. Like,
yeah,
well, hell,
it
that
makes me
another one I guess
sad.
was penis enlargements, but that wasn't really a cosmetic thing. You'd get
Yeah,
a penis pump for that. Shout out to Austin
yeah.
Powers when I was younger, but like, I feel like below the waist
But
on
porn,
man
man,
or woman,
porn is that.
not really the
Yeah,
prettiest
no,
thing to start
and
with. So like, why are we gonna go fucking with it, trying to like make it aesthetically pleasing? I don't.
I feel like that's
I was
porn.
gonna say, unless
Like
you're
I
a porn star
feel
who's
like
been like
that
screwed every day, multiple times a day
is
for
porn.
years, and your like lips are, like I
Hmm.
said, down to your
On
knees.
display. Yeah, and if they're on
Do
display, but
you
like
do
I feel like
you? But
again,
like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. And I kind of watched this the other day, and that's why my kind of point is like, how can we be mad about something as a society that we perpetuate? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like everyone, again, women. I'm not trying to like. I'm gonna whatever. Listen, women get mad that there's all these fucking
be
standards, but
nice.
y'all support the shit. Y'all support the
Fuck
businesses.
yeah,
Like if you don't want men to have physical, like sexual expectations of you, then maybe stop participating in
fuck
porn.
yeah,
Maybe stop doing those kind of things. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's kind of like a double standard here. It's like if you're gonna sit there and put it out there and participate in it, but then be pissed off because it still exists. Like I said in Hollywood, if we want Hollywood to crumble, then we all need to stop
yeah.
subscribing, but we're all not going to, and that's fine. I'm not going to call it what it is, right? So it's kind of frustrating. I find it frustrating where it's like, oh, it's all these men and everyone's doing this, but it's like, but
Women are just as
why
bad.
are
We're
we being
just
a
as
part of it?
guilty.
Like maybe yeah, we're just as guilty. We need to stand up and say, hey,
We're done.
sisters, you don't need to cut your vaginas. I mean, we're saying it to the ones of trans, like give it a minute before you cut them off, same with our females. Like you don't,
That's crazy
again,
that
if you want to be
that's
a porn star and that's how you make your money, I get it. But at the
that
same
also lends
time,
to the whole like infertility and like like they're just trying to fuck with
yes,
our bits. Like, I don't understand what,
100%. They're so
like, I feel like
obsessed.
that could
Stop
really
being so
inhibit
obsessed.
someone from like having sex if like you have a fucking botched
Mm-hmm.
lip job and it just hurts, or
100%.
it's like super
Oh.
weird, or there's something fucked up. Like, I just don't understand. I'm sorry, that is going to stick with me for days. Like, the fact that people are doing that is just like weird to me.
I just turtling.
Like, no thank you, but
It's
it's just, I don't know. The, the,
it
the
just
the
makes me feel really
cosmetic and the
sad. I think
surgery
at the
side of the
bottom,
beauty industry is like such an,
I struggle.
it's such an,
I struggle so
like,
hard.
that versus the products is just so weird, because like
Hmm.
surgical complications and like the meds you have to go on for healing and like all the sorts of shit is like one side of the beast, and then
Yes.
all the like
Yep.
shit that's in like, yeah, the cosmetics and the lotions, like it's just, it is such a widespread like fuckery. It's
Issue.
crazy. It's
Yes. And
crazy.
like we said, I feel it takes you down spiritually. And again, there is empowerment in it. And I think that empowerment is there when you have true
Yes.
self love and you can be like, you can show up on a video live with no filter. Like, yes, I got a ring light,
Dude,
but you guys see me all the time, especially if you're on my Instagram, right? Like, there's a difference. Lighting is a different thing. But you know what I mean? Like, if you can do that, and then I think that those things are just highlights and it's fun. And then that's not your identity and you don't feel less
I'm
than.
a sucker for
And I've talked about this on the show
freckle
before.
filters. So if you see me with those, don't
Yes.
come at me because I just like
I come
freckles,
at her all the
okay?
time. I'm just kidding. I just want them.
Sorry.
But it's you're also not having an
I
identity
don't like the
crisis where
ones
you
where it
don't want
like
your spouse to see
does your
you.
lips and like fake makeup and stuff. Those,
Mm.
or like there's one that I used to use that gave
I like the fun
freckles that like
ones.
thinned my face, or it was like a beauty one on Snapchat that thinned my face, and every time I use it, Nick's like, you got
Yeah.
weird skinny face in this photo again. I'm like, Kate, rude, but like it did, like it slims
Rude.
like everything
Okay.
down.
Yeah.
And I've heard because of filters, nose jobs went through the roof because of like the way it like
Yeah.
slimmed people's noses and like jaw lines and stuff. Filters were a
And
big push in that department.
And apparently the new Apple iPhones, like at least I think it's like 12 and up, probably,
Shut up.
I think was a number. Their cameras are just designed to make you look better. So and if you look in, so if you go to research cosmetic surgery and plastic surgery, a lot of it is just going to be surgeons telling you how great it is and how successful they are and how much people are loving it and da 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 da. Like it's really kind of sad, but like in my mind, when plastic surgery has gone up exponentially over the last couple of years, I don't feel like that's a win for
No.
society. I think that's kind of like a flag, a major red flag is why are so many people over the last couple of years not feeling like they're good enough, and then you have to look at these technologies like social media and these filters and
Shit like
just the
that.
fake life that people can pretend that they have, where they can catfish. Like there was some fucking broad that like made herself pretend that she was like famous
Yeah.
or royalty or something like that, and it was just she just took pictures and had really good in
I
like
find it
marketing, and everyone thought she was a royalty.
I
Like,
find it rude that
oh,
iPhones
what the
can now
fuck?
make you look like better and skinnier, but every other camera that you've ever used adds 10 pounds. Can we just make it so
Yeah, what's
you
that
look
about?
like you?
Normal?
And
You
not
just
like
you?
too
Yeah,
like I don't
exactly.
want to look like a whale, which I often do,
Pickling.
which really
No.
crushes my soul. I hate photos of myself because it's like that's not what I thought I look like, but apparently that's what I look like.
I'm a thumb
But then yeah,
today.
you've got like the all opposite where it's gonna like skinny face you and make you look all like weird and like just I don't
Yes.
like. Can we just look like
And then
us?
you go into a mirror and you're like, I don't, is
I'm
this who I am? Because I
s-
don't
I think
know.
that's where filters got me too. Like, and most girls, I'm so sick of looking in the mirror being like, yes, okay, feeling good, looking good, and then you go to take a picture and it's like, bitch, who the fuck is this? Who is Shrek looking at me right now?
What
Like,
is
what
this?
is this?
What
Like, it
is
is
this?
so offensive
Yes.
that like cameras are made to like make you
Lighting
feel
is
like
everything.
yes. It makes you just feel like
I'll just tell
shit.
you,
Drives me
as a past
nuts.
photographer, I will tell you everything. If
Sunlight,
you're
baby.
watching lighting, no lighting.
No,
Lighting,
yeah, it can
no.
be
Even less
so
lighting.
frightening, but yeah,
Doing
that's
best
terrible that iPhones are now
best
like
friends. Apparently,
it's like an automatic
allegedly, don't
filter.
don't sue me. Yeah, and I think that's what I
Rude.
mean is like, and I've said this on the show before, and I'm not throwing shade. I just want to challenge people to think about this because I said this before. We got mad at like MTV and Playboy for all of these standards that they put out for us, and that we had to fall into, and how that fucked us
Yeah.
up. Now, every single person can be a quote unquote influencer and celebrity to all these children that now have these devices in their hands and see it. So where does the responsibility lie? If you're continually getting this stuff because you don't feel you're good enough, and this is one thing I loved about my mom is that even though she didn't love the way she looked, she never tried to change her
No.
looks in ways that were putting her at risk. And I was just like, "Oh, mom, you hate this about yourself, but you're not going to jeopardize your
Your
true health."
health.
To fit into this, like, and she would wear makeup and dye her hair for sure. But even now, she's in the same part where she's like, I don't know if I feel like dyeing my hair anymore. And I'm kind of like, yo,
Good for you.
I'm
right?
I'm about 6 months out,
Well,
and I feel pretty good about
how
it.
many celebrities are like famous for looking fugly? I think Doja Cat right now is the only one
None.
who looks like a fucking
Oh, but she is
bald-headed
purposely
weird.
trying to be.
I can't
Yeah,
stand her,
she
but
looks like the
she
devil.
looks
No.
crazy, and she's the first because you don't get ahead or
Yeah.
hi, you don't get far or ahead or anywhere in Hollywood looking like a fucking mess. They want you to look the way they
No.
want you to look, and that's usually prim, proper, and
Yeah.
fucking made up, right?
Well, even like look at people like Morgan Wallen. Like I think he said himself, like he was just
I
not
will
like
say,
didn't know.
me and my girlfriends were like, that is not my boyfriend no more. Who the hell is this bald headed man?
Oh, and
When he
when he bald
shaved
his
his
head,
head, my god, what happened?
but I even feel though when he started out, like that wasn't he wasn't
His
into fashion.
aesthetic.
He
A
wasn't
lot
into
of
his
I feel like a lot
aesthetic.
of guys, it's like unless you're like super into that to
Yeah.
start, like they get the like GQ makeover because a lot of them aren't into that
Yes.
shit. They don't give a
Oh, yeah.
fuck. It's all about their talent. Like
No.
look at Post
Or
Malone.
they do.
Bless him. I love him so
Yeah.
much, but like
Yes.
he was not he's like an aesthetic like homeless man in some
Adam
photos and some
Sandler.
Adam Sandler is my spirit animal because I dress
It's
like
a
him
vibe. He's
literally.
a vibe.
Like
Yeah.
I can't wait for
Every
fall.
day.
Bring
Every
on the
day.
Adam Sandler Uggs, bike short or
Vibe.
fucking baseball short or basketball short, sorry, and t-shirts because that is my jam. But
Number
like
one
yeah,
vibe.
like he just started wearing tuxedos apparently because his mom was giving him shit. Like that is the kind of
Yes, that's
like
funny.
standards I like. Be
But
yourself. If you don't
yeah.
like that, then don't
Yeah.
don't do it. Like
No.
I'm so
Don't
it's
go
just
broke.
yeah, trying
Don't
to
like we were
be
seeing.
hey, go away, you bitch.
Oh
Be
no,
like
we're getting a
everyone
fight.
else, you know what I mean? She was sniffing too close to the
Yes.
cat, heaven forbid.
It's too
But yeah,
close.
like
Goodness
it's
sake.
just I don't know.
It
It's
just
an ugly
it
standard to
makes
keep
me
up with because there's a no win. It's a cycle. It's a loop, right? You
yeah.
don't feel good.
Unless it's divinely for you, right?
Yes,
Like if you were doing something because it's truly
but
to you and that's truly what you love,
I'd argue that no matter
then great.
what, there's always a level of like it may be for you, but it's influenced by the outside, unfortunately. Not
Yeah.
that that's a bad thing.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Not terrible,
if you
no.
really need your lips done because it makes you uncomfortable, I mean, you do you, but there's a reason
You do you.
the reason you're uncomfortable is because of what you're seeing is outside influence. So
Yes.
it may be your
Yes.
decision and for you,
Agreed.
but it's because of the outside influence. So I don't know.
Yes, because someone somewhere, or you look at see all these people that get likes for
Yeah,
that, and you're like, well, people must like that, or
exactly.
got, it's a weird societal norm, and it's like, so that's what this article was pretty much saying is like in all these different avenues between like the advertisement from surgeries, like on TV, on everywhere, and you've got all these celebrities, and you've got all of this like social media
Hmm.
where these filters are making people feel like they're not good enough, and I mean, I have 11s, I have smile lines, I have a double chin, I have acne, I have scars, I have
I can move my
sunspots,
face
I have
though,
wrinkles.
where a lot of people
I
can't.
can
I can look surprised and I can
yeah.
look mad and I can look happy because of that.
I look like a Disney
Yeah.
character. But I think for me it's like do those things bother me? Sure, sometimes. But I think at the end of the day, whenever I have an intrusive thought like that, I'm immediately like, but what does that
Why?
do? Truly, why? Like why am I is this my feeling or is this because, I'm seeing other people do it or quote unquote society and then I'm like, well, society tells me to do nothing because I'm in control of
Yeah.
myself. So do I want to go get this done? No. Do I love it? No, but I'm so tired of this like being afraid of anti-aging.
Oh
Like,
my
do y'all not
god.
understand that aging is a fucking
It's
gift
a
that not everyone
privilege,
is
man.
granted? It's a fucking privilege. And I have lost friends at a very young age. You've lost family members at a very
Yeah.
young age. Like
It's
it's not it's important that we
the thing
understand that
too,
like life
getting
is
older, you
precious.
realize like people like I remember when I was in my like teens and 20s, my age 33, I was old. Dude, now
Oh fuck yeah.
50, like even 60 to me, that's not old
Even
yet.
60, I'm like, that's not old. I'm like 70
50s, that's
now. I'm
not
like,
old.
yeah,
40 30s to 50s is
yeah.
like the prime of your like
Prime
that's your
prime
like
time.
mid prime
Yeah.
because to me
Yeah.
old is like I mean, I've got grandparents that say, but like 80 plus.
Yeah.
Some in
Yeah.
some
That's
cases
fair.
70. It just depends how your body really, but like
Depends on your health. Yep.
honestly, like I when you the older you get, I feel like your perception of age is so much different. And yeah, there's a few celebrity influences that are starting to like try and age naturally, which is not always graceful, and
Yeah.
that's just kind of a reality
Nope.
thing. But like, look at fucking
Nope.
Sylvester Stallone. Look at fucking
Men
Travolta.
age so much better.
They
Yeah.
because
I
of
feel
the
like men
look at
age so
Courtney
much better.
Cox, because of all their plastic surgery, their age is just like,
I feel like it makes it people look older
you look
sometimes too, and they don't
rough
realize,
as
right?
fuck. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say
Well,
that,
I'm
but like the preventative Botox doesn't always make you look great in the end, and there's a lot of proof to that.
But and also though, how do we even know what that's going to look like when you started at 20? Because
You
nobody
don't.
did that over the last 20 years. Like we said, it wasn't, people got stuff, but it was in their
It's gonna
50s
be
and
like
60s. And the reason
death becomes her, and
was it,
it's you're gonna have to do it all the time because if not, you're like everything's gonna start melting and looking like a hot ass
but
mess.
that's the thing, guys. I don't think many people are aware of that. And we're going to have, at one point, we'll have a Botox, more of a Botox professional come on and
Good.
talk about it. But
We have no
basically,
long
from my
term. Similar to
understanding,
the there's no long term
yeah,
yet.
well, the thing is well that, and also eventually your muscles are gonna like
Atrophy.
atrophy, and they're just not, they're not gonna be able to
It's gonna
accept
look super
anything in
sexy.
there.
Like,
So like my concern is that, when we do all this stuff in quote unquote preventative, A, do we know it's preventative? B, are we sure we know what that's going to look like? Because in my mind, I was going to wait. If I ever do it now, I won't. But in my mind, I was always like, if I ever get Botox or surgery, I'm doing it when I'm like 60,
yeah,
where it's like, if there's any risks, whatever, I'm on my way out in the next couple years
I'm
anyways.
headed out
Like,
anyways.
I'm done. I'm on the last chapter, the last decade, like whatever. That's just been my thought. Now I definitely won't, because I'm sorry, I'm not happy that we're quote unquote sold that we need to do those things. So when I am like anti like government now and anti establishment,
Mhm.
I'm kind of anti this bullshit too.
Yes.
And I'm pro aging in the way that I want to and the way that you should want to. And if you
Uh
want to do
huh.
those things, that's fine. I'm just saying be
I'm
aware,
anti
because
anything that
most
really,
people don't know.
like, anything that fucks with your internal and external, period. Anything that's
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, which is hard
Kosher
because
friendly.
it's literally everywhere.
It's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere. But,
Everywhere.
like, anything that you can do
Yeah.
to, like, limit all your exposure to, like, dude, some of the shit in products, like, I can't even pronounce some of these words. Like, it is, like, I worked on trying to, like,
And
this one I had to say 4 times out loud and I still can't. I can't get, like,
no,
if I
what
can't
is it?
pronounce it, especially in my food, or I don't really use
I
beauty products
forgot.
anymore, so that doesn't really help. If it's in my food, if I can't pronounce it, Nick and I are like, we're those people in the grocery store, like, and fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay,
It's
there's a
so
good one.
annoying.
Like, ah,
That one
fuck.
looks
It's like,
okay.
it's just so frustrating
Yes.
because, like, yeah, like, I don't need, it's wild. It is truly
Well, and
wild.
I would like to challenge people too, if we truly, again, sit there and think about all, okay, so maybe this product's safe on its
Yeah.
own, and this product's safe on its own,
But
and this
together,
product's safe, okay? But when you combine those levels and ask the question, have they ever tested all the things that you do together to know if that chemically can work? And we have forever chemicals. We know this. It's
yes.
not conspiracy. We all know that, between the things that we drink that are plastic to we put our food in. Our food
Yeah.
comes in those things. And again, we're not saying this to scare you guys. We're saying this to go, isn't it beautiful to know that we can slowly start taking control
Yeah.
of this and change it? And for me, makeup and all of these extra products was a no brainer for
Oh,
number
yeah.
one, because food, that is
Food is
way
hard.
harder because it's literally in everything.
You
So I'm
literally have
like,
to be a farmer
what can
from
I do?
ground scratch. Like,
Yes. Yes, or beef
it
cattle or
you
whatever the fuck
literally
they want
have
to
to have a
beef
farm
cattle or
and have to
a
have
farm.
everything on your
Yeah.
own, have a butcher as a friend,
Yeah.
because sending it away is
Mm.
even, like, it would stress it. Like, it is hard.
So
Food
it's
is a
hard.
very hard one, and I was
Yeah.
beating myself up for a long time, but I've kind of given up on that, and
Same.
that's why I focused mainly
Yeah.
on, like, external
Products.
stuff and
Okay.
beauty
Inward. Yeah.
products and,
Yeah.
like, unnecessary,
Yeah.
like, cleaners and
Hairspray.
hairspray, perfumes, stuff like that. Even though I love fragrance, and perfume was a hard one because
It
I
is.
found a kind of an alternative to, like, Febreze that's, like, supposed to be a little bit better, but I still use it very, very sparingly. But truly, fragrance was a hard one because we are so, like, I love my house to smell good. Who the fuck doesn't? I want
Same.
to smell
Yeah,
good.
I
Who the
agree.
fuck doesn't?
I want,
Like,
yeah. I don't want to smell like the foot that
yeah,
I
I
look
don't
like.
need to smell like the troll, like, living under a bridge that I appear to be sometimes.
I
I
want
want
to
to smell
smell
like,
like a lavender
yeah, like a
troll.
daisy troll, but like a troll
Yeah, one that you
nonetheless.
you like want to be friends with because they're kind of like fun and they don't smell bad, but
The
you
fun
know,
troll you want to be friends with because
the
they smell
fun
like
troll.
roses. That's the troll.
Yeah, you're like,
That's what
damn,
I aim
you're a
for.
troll, but you smell delish. Yeah, that's my
Oh
goal in
shit.
life with the Adam Sandler outfit.
Yeah.
But I think that's too. It's like so in my mind, I'm like, when I find all this out, and I know Hales, you're the same way. You're like, okay, so let me get this straight. These motherfuckers are quote unquote selling us that we need to have this. We're getting sick, where therefore we're needing to either look for therapy or we need to go
Pharma.
get
Yep.
medication. That pharma that hooks us to other ones that have other, and you know, all these things connect. It makes me mad, and that's why I want to speak out about it, because it's like I don't think that anybody's a bad person
Nope.
for wearing makeup, for getting cosmetic surgery, for doing plastic surgery. I'm mad
At the secrets
that
being
people
kept
are feeling like they have to,
and
and there's
how
secrets being kept, and you aren't informed
hidden
of what this is
all the
doing to
crappy
you.
side effect, like honestly the
Yeah,
amount of carcinogens in products when I was reading is like it's overwhelming, and it
insane.
just makes you think of like
I know.
grandparents and like older family members that have passed, because when this stuff was like heightened and first coming out, the regulations were a lot worse.
Even
So like
looser.
all the
Yes.
cancer that has been like rampant over, like it's just, it's a
Kind of
piss
have to
off.
wonder, right?
It is a
It's a
fucking
piss off.
mega piss off. Like, hell, I have a
It
family
is.
member right now who has a really, or potentially has a really shitty disease because of a medication they're taking for a fucking illness they have. So, like, getting the illness, then you have to take a medicine to take
Taking
it, but then
medication.
that medication is now giving you another problem, which the medication for that costs an arm and a leg annually to fight. Like, it's just like, can you
A never ending
fucking
circle.
explain this to me? Yeah, it, like I said, it is a
Please. Yes.
circle. They want you on
And
that
that's where we
loop
get
and conveyor
mad.
belt for life, baby. They don't want you off it.
Yes.
That's why
No.
it's not a popular opinion to like what we have. No makeup, don't give a fuck. I
Hmm.
wear
No.
deodorant. I found a deodorant, thank God, that has no
I
aluminum.
use native.
I use Hello.
Hmm.
I'm
I
sure
use
someone's
native.
going to tell me that it's
Oh, yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
but I use Hello
Oh, I think
toothpaste and
native is the
Hello
go to. Same.
um
The
deodorant, and it
charcoal.
smells good. But I
Yes.
also forget to use it a lot because it's just not a part of my routine. It honestly never really has been. I just am not like, I don't know why. It's just not the first thing I
Mm,
reach for. And then and by the end of the day, it's like, what
fair.
the oh, that is me. That
Oh,
is
that's c'est
me.
moi.
But that is also due to your diet, because if you eat a
Yes.
proper,
If you
healthy,
have a shit
balanced,
diet.
like green leafy diet, you shouldn't be smelling the high heavens. I smell like onions a lot. Nick and I laugh at it. He'll look at me. He's like, "Is that you?" I'm like, "Shut up." He's like, "It smells like onions." Fuck
Shut up, it's
off.
not.
It's not me, okay? Like, but like everything,
I have to because I go to the
it
gym,
is.
but
I
yeah,
I
but
am
I
very
do use a
minimal
native
on
brand.
anything that I put,
Yeah,
like coconut
same.
oil for my fucking
Hmm.
moisturizer or anything like that. It's just,
Yeah,
it's such a shitty realization once you open your eyes to it, and it can be so overwhelming. It can be so like scary, but just
sad.
like, yeah, it's overwhelming is the biggest. I think that was my hardest cognitive dissonance, was just like really
Realization.
realizing that like no matter what, we are literally set up to fail in every
Hmm.
aspect, and that one is the hardest. Food and beauty stuff is the hardest, but once you know, the bonus
You
is
can be
you can,
aware.
yeah, you can slowly start kicking shit out of your house, changing up
Hmm.
products, finding alternatives. And I don't know, like I've the last
Embracing
handful
yourself
of
more.
years, I think I've been way happier than I ever was. I don't know if that's just because
Same.
I'm an adult now and realize that some shit just isn't worth my fucking stress. Some shit just is not worth my fucking time. But
Yeah.
it truly, it I don't know. It's crazy to think that I've eliminated a bunch of these toxins, and therefore my mental health is kind of like, oh, all right then, well, I'm
Hmm.
coming back. I'm coming
Well, look
back.
at
Like,
us.
look
Yeah.
at us.
Here
Who
we
would have
are.
thought?
Here we are. Look at us. Yes. I think so too. And I think it's such a beautiful transformation. And I think it makes it so much easier. It's
Yes.
like once you realize how bad it is for you physically, like whatever it is that makes you quit something, for me, it's always like, what harm is this doing to my body that could happen down the
Yeah.
road? Like, we're all prone to cancers. We all know somebody that has it. We all know someone that passed away from it. We all know someone that has mental health
Here, like,
issues. We all know those things for us, right? Like, so it's like in my mind, I'm like, what can I do as a responsible adult? Do I need this? No, I don't, because it was really nice to just I you can only grow when you go
Yeah.
through the uncomfortable. So if you think you're ugly and you don't think you're worth a fucking lick, then start looking at yourself every
Yeah.
day and telling yourself you're beautiful, sis, because
You
once you
are.
get through that, or you like, you are. And I feel like it's so empowering. That to me, that's true empowerment, is being like, okay, well, there's this standard, but I don't really care because this is
Yeah.
me and this is who I am. And I'm so much more than what I look like. And for me, putting on makeup and wearing that mask was showing everybody that I wasn't okay with myself, and I wasn't okay with that. Just personally, that's how I
Yeah.
felt aligned. And I'm very blessed, to have a spouse and to like have a mom and friends around me that, support that and don't ever put pressure. But there's been times where women around me have been like, "Oh, you should get Botox." I'm like, I'm going to be 37 this December, and most people think I'm in my early
Yeah,
30s.
bitch.
I think I'm okay. Like, why would I want to, like, why?
I'm
Why?
fine looking
I
my
mean, it's
age. I don't get
friendly,
ID'd
but
as much, and it's nice. I don't have to pull my card out.
truly, I'd really like to spend that like $300 a month that you guys probably spend quarterly, $300 to $500 on a therapist to just learn to accept myself the way I am. That's just my
Or
personal
on
choice, because you know
things
what?
that make me happy.
Risk comes
Fuck.
with that. Yeah, but like, do you know what the thing is with me is, if it comes with a high enough risk, is there an alternative? Is there a way I can work with my mentality and my mindset on it, so I don't have to put myself at
Hmm.
this physical risk? Because I was a huge like recreational, like I didn't like Aunt Molly a lot and ecstasy a lot at one point, and I liked a lot of pharmaceuticals at one point, and birth control really messed me up, and I smoked a lot of cigarettes for a lot of years, and I still smoke a lot of cannabis, and I'm full of tattoos. So I've done my shit. So I think of all those things that I've put in my body, the stuff that's never going to leave, the stuff that's still kicking around.
Hmm.
The more I put into my body, the more chances there's going to be a
For
reaction.
sure.
So if I can mitigate, if I don't have to wear lotion every day, if I can use coconut oil instead, and you'll get it wrong. You'll get the wrong coconut oil, and someone will say, "Fuck you, you're using the
You
wrong
can't, yeah.
base
There's
for
really,
that." You
like,
can't always get it right.
trial and error and
But,
everything, and you'll never please everyone, but
yeah, no, and I still wear mascara almost every single day, and sometimes I'll put some eyeshadow on,
shit,
but
yeah.
I used to cake, and I'm not. But if your mental health is trash and you're looking around and you're thinking everything in my life is great, I have absolutely no reason to be upset right now. I challenge you to start
Yeah.
looking at some of these products that are in your life. Hairspray,
Honestly, hair
lotions,
products is a big
fucking
one.
perfumes. Hair products is huge, and even like um how many times are you washing your hair and all this stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, you're letting your body do what it naturally needs to. Like Haley said, instead of wanting to figure out why they smell, why do you smell like toxic metals? Well, something's fucked up in your diet and it's coming out your skin.
Hmm.
But if you're continually, no, you don't want to have the deodorant in a sense where it clogs it. You want it to, the antiperspirants,
Yeah.
they stop you from naturally
That has a
excreting
ton
that,
of
so
it
it's
too.
going back into your
Yeah.
body, right? It's like, so you want to make sure not to have antiperspirant. You want to sweat, and if your sweat this is a problem. If people have bad sweat and they don't know about their diet or the reason why, they're just like, oh, I just rather mask it and not smell bad than get to the root cause of
Hmm.
why do I smell bad,
I agree.
right? Like, is there that's and I just think that that's what a society is now. It's like we can mask everything, smells, looks,
Everything.
all of that,
It's not real anymore.
everything,
Everything. It's there's filters
but
for
it's
everything, be it on like on your
everything, but
phone
it
or.
yeah, but what damage is that doing to yourself, right? When you get away from reality, when you get away from
Hmm.
yourself, when you get away from what's naturally meant to be your body's systems, if you your lymphatic system, and that's why I'm like so glad I don't have big boobs anyways, but I don't wear bras anymore because I don't like apparently not good for it to be holding all the time. It should be
Draining,
flowing
right?
through. And every morning I jump, I do 100 jumps first thing in the morning. I get that lymphatic drainage going, and I'm like, anything that was stagnant, it is moving now, right? Like, there are things that you can do for your body to help these things. It's just harder,
Yeah.
takes more time, and not as sexy and fast and popular. And that's sad, because y'all deserve better than that, in my opinion.
Well, I wanted to before we get off. So
Yeah.
some
Get a hoe. Oh, we're turning into that kind of
zing.
channel, are we?
No, so hair products are a big one. Although a lot of these
Yes.
chemicals are in things other than hair products. This is like a list of things. I'm gonna read a brief of what it's supposed to do and like what is known, like the shitty
Mm.
reaction. So we all know about sulfates, which are used to clean dirt and sebum off the scalp, and it's usually used for lathering in shampoos, so you get that good lather. But they can cause an allergic reaction in your scalp and may cause frizzy hair, like ew. And they are huge hormone disruptors when used for prolonged periods. And who the fuck isn't using shampoo all the time? So,
All the time.
shit. Parabens increase the shelf life of hair care products, but they prevent bacteria from growing in your shampoos. So it's just like a stabilizer and a shelf life. But they are known to mimic the function of hormone estrogen, which is in shampoos, my guys, just to let you know.
You diz.
Polyethylene glycols, which are PEGs, is a derivative of petroleum that is used in hair care products such as a thickening agent. And it's there's not enough research, it says, available to claim the toxicity of it, but hair care experts believe that PEG can have a damaging effect on your scalp. Phthalates, which we all know, are used in hair care products to increase the spreadability of a product, so like the viscosity, I suppose. And they're made for the perfume to stick to your scalp and hair, so it helps like that adhere and like last longer. So like
Yeah, so you
herbal
smell good.
essences, I'm thinking. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they are endocrine disruptors, meaning that they can cause early puberty in girls and reduce sperm count in men. So that's why when you see no sulfates, phthalates, parabens, probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Formaldehyde. You would be
It's
surprised how much shit has fucking formaldehyde in it, and you know what formaldehyde
so
is,
nasty.
right?
Yeah.
So these ingredients are known to be to absorb in your skin, which fucking are you? And it's a
Fuck your
carcinogen,
head.
or releasers that are carcinogen. So there's one. Tri, triclosan, I'm assuming is how you pronounce it. It was an antibacterial agent in soap bars and like shampoo
Mm-hmm.
bars, but it's known hormone disruptors. So like hormone disruptors are number one on these lists.
Everywhere. Yes.
Dimethicone is a silicone added to hair care products that acts as a protective layer but can build up on your scalp, and it prevents moisture from entering your hair and can cause irritation and clogged pores, so like dandruff and like itchy scalp and
Yep.
stuff. Retinol
Yep.
palmitate is the ester of retinol and palmitate acid. The ingredient can cause skin itching, redness, scalp peeling, and may also cause cancer, reproductive problems, and toxicity to organs. Yeah,
No.
alcohol is is an obvious one. I
Poison.
feel like alcohol is in so much. It dries
So
out your
much. Yeah.
skin. I know that much. It says steer
Mm-hmm.
clear of alcohols like propanol and isopropyl alcohol. They are a thickening agent in shampoos, sometimes used as emollients when derived from palm or coconut oil, and they can cause brittleness of hair, so your hair like cracking, breaking, falling off. Fragrances are
Yeah.
huge. So
Yeah. They're terrible.
it's like it just blows me away how like fragrances are literally a part of like so much, and they are one of the biggest causes of cancer that like
Mm-hmm.
no one wants to admit. That is the biggest denial, because like I said, I loved fragrances. Fragrances were
Oh,
like those wall
fragrances.
plugins we used to use. We
Same.
didn't use a lot of them, but we did. Febreze,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
perfumes,
Yeah.
candles, everything. Shout out to Dandles again, because
Air
honestly candles
fresheners.
were our life, and bless Danielle
Yeah.
for coming into my life, because I can burn them again. It's
Yes.
driving me nuts.
I know.
It fucking
I'm
honestly.
at the wax
Oh,
melts.
but there's like a bunch more. This one, toluene, has detrimental effects on your central nervous system. Um, res-
Of course.
resorcinol is a common hair ingredient. It dyes bleaching agents, so like getting your hair done. In animals, it causes thyroid function disruption, and it also causes functional disabilities to the immune system. Selenium sulfide is a proven carcinogen. In mice, it showed the development of tumors due to selenium sulfide, so stay away from that. And then quantern- quaternium 15 is in shampoos and conditioners. It's a preservative. It's also a formaldehyde releaser, so it causes cancer. And then that list of ones that I can't pronounce, there was like it's like 12 or 15 things to stay away from. And like I just said, if you can't pronounce it, chances are it's probably not the
Don't.
greatest. But yeah, like acrylates, alk- alkylphenols, benzophenon, butan. Oh my god, butylated compounds, carbon black. This one's fuck. Diazolidilin urea, parabens, ethanolamines, formaldehyde, fragrance and perfume, homosalates, octinoxates, PFT or PTFEs, phthalates, OMMP, phenylene, phenylenediamine. Like, fuck's sakes.
this
Like, I
this
just
is fake news. This isn't real.
tryptophenyl
You don't live
phosphate.
in
Like,
real
some of
life.
these, it's like I literally have to break it down. Like, this one is PHENYLENEDIAM. Like, why is this the alphabet long? Like, and that's what I mean. Like, looking at some of these, it makes sense to me because I've been so deep dived in this shit. Like, stay the fuck away from it. But yeah, if you cannot
Yeah.
pronounce it, pretty good chance it is a chemical, it is man-made, and you don't be wanting it in your body. Coconut oil is such a good alternative for lotions. Hell, if it
Hmm.
makes your hair greasy as fuck and you have to shampoo it out, but like if you're in a pinch and need like a conditioner or just like something to like moisturize your
Yes.
hair,
Oh,
olive oil,
yeah.
coconut oil,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. Like it's just it's crazy how we're like conditioner is the biggest and hardest one that I found. Making your own conditioner is a bitch, and I
Oh,
have not found a good formula.
yeah. I'm
So
not there yet.
I've just
No.
resorted to not using it anymore. Like I don't, which is hard
That's fair.
sometimes, and I get it, but I don't know. It's just reading
I
some of
feel
this shit is just it's
I'll have to go
fucked.
look back at that list to the native stuff, but I find the native stuff has like 7 or 8 ingredients.
Yeah,
So I really do like their brand. I have their shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and their deodorant as well. But I'm sure someone will say something in there can't be everything, but it's just slowly, right? Like I used to always have the cheapest shampoo, and now it's like
yeah,
I want to invest in those things when I can. That's also I understand that's also a privilege. Like I don't always get to have the good shampoos. There's a couple weeks ago I just had the cheap stuff because I'm like I just don't want to spend
yeah,
$30 right now. I ran out, so I did that for a couple weeks, and now I got my nice fancy shampoo for another 3 or 4 months, right? But it's just being maybe smart and being ahead of the game and budgeting that in, or
yeah,
like waiting for Christmas. Like, I got Grant the Squatch.
yeah.
Is that what it's
Sasquatch.
called? Yeah, stuff. Yeah, from last year, and it's all again like very clean stuff. And there is stuff you just have to look,
Also,
right?
if
You
you're
just have to
not
look for
washing your
certain
hair every
things.
other day, which you shouldn't be, I wash my hair once every 7 to
Yeah,
10 days, which yes is disgusting. Yes, I
yeah.
still shower in between, but no, I don't wash my hair. Your shampoo lasts a lot longer than you would think.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, you take less times, but it's just being, oh, she's so cute, my
Seeping.
little bean. So tiny. But anyways, guys, just meaning like do all these things. If that's truly what you
Oh
want to
yeah.
do and it's aligned, you'll know, right? But if this is kind of triggering you or you're mad about it, then maybe look into a little more. Is if this is really truly what you want and not just a trend, not something that you say you're mad about that the patriarchy is
Yeah.
trying to
It's
sell
not
you, don't buy it. Don't buy
it's
it.
not always the
Just
patriarchy
don't
too.
buy
It's
it.
just we're just all guilty of
No.
like giving
Is it the
in to
matriarchy?
just what we're told and conditioned to believe is
The
like needed
trends.
for us, and like
Yeah.
what what
Break out of that.
what
Just don't
what
subscribe.
we need to like do good, feel good, look good for others. Like it's not
No.
we got to get
No.
focused to like how do you feel. It's not so much always how
Yeah.
you look, how do you feel? And if it
Yeah.
ain't
Because
good,
you will, when you're doing,
start with beauty products.
yeah, but like when you're doing something that feels good to you, like it
Like,
should be showing. Like when people are glowing, when they're aligned, you can see it, you can feel it. So it's like if you
wow.
and I read a lot on this Reddit through before all this. So many people say that they thought that they would feel better about that, but unfortunately, babes, you cannot change the outside to fix what is broken on the inside. There's just no amount of surgery that's going to fix it. There's no amount of outside stuff, makeup that is ever going to make you feel better if you don't do the work inside. It's just point blank,
This
period.
is
Like,
comfy apparently.
end of it.
Also, for
It's
those who
adorable.
don't know, Frenchies are born with tails and hers is crooked. It has this little hook at the end, but I just every time I see
Love
it, I always
it.
forget cuz Shorty doesn't have one. It just makes me
That's
laugh.
so funny. It's so tiny. Like, what's its
Also, it's
purpose?
illegal in Alberta to dock tails and ears, so you'd have to go to
Good.
Saskatchewan to do
I
it.
don't like that.
See, not all
I'm
beauty standards
not a
need to be
fan.
followed. Some of them need to be outlawed.
Yeah.
Like
And not all of them are for just
docking
women.
these
Some of them are
babies'
for animals
tails.
too.
Who needs it?
Yeah, leave their poor things. You don't and
Literally,
don't get
she
me
is
started on
sleeping
declawing
like this.
cats.
Like,
But
this is
what
ridiculous.
if
She's sleeping
that
like
is so
this.
cute?
This is her comfy spot, hanging
Turkey.
over my
It's a
shoulder.
great spot. It's a great spot. But anyways, guys, all we're
Just love
saying is when we
you
say
a
this with
little bit
love,
harder.
just love you. Yeah, and like maybe don't worry and just don't go into debt financially,
Oh, God.
spiritually,
Spiritual debt
mentally for
is the
any
worst,
of
and
this,
fucking
right? Like,
mental health debt, mental debt.
yeah.
Just to keep up with
Yeah,
the Joneses and keep up with what
just to keep
everyone.
up with the
Yeah.
Joneses.
Fuck the
No, it'll
Joneses.
change tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
it'll
thing.
change tomorrow.
Trends are forever
Big booties
changing.
will be
That's the
gone.
painful part about it,
Yeah.
is you're never going to
Yeah.
keep up because it's always changing to suit whatever they need and to
Yeah.
market and sell and get more shit out, right?
Exactly. So if it's not truly aligned and it's just doing a trend, challenge yourself. Do you need to do this? Are you aware of the risks? Are you informed? If you are, go fucking
Yeah.
ham. Have a great time. Be beautiful. Come back and listen to us. Thank you for listening, guys. I hope you took away some goodness
Yeah.
from this episode. Lola Bean, Hales, it was a great time. Thanks for your first episode, Little Bean.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye.
Thank you guys for stopping by the show today. We appreciate you so much. If you like this episode and you want to hear more, make sure to show us some love on our Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest page, the Be Real Babe Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube and Rumble channels, like those episodes, and turn on the notification bells. You can find our video version of the show on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify, or you can catch the audio version on Apple and Google Podcast. But stay tuned for more realness coming to you soon. Until next time, babes.